Welcome to Hoops Lounge. I'm Montreal Mark.
Sporting Phil, bringing you a big show today.
New digs.
Yeah, this is the this official new lounge, so welcome. We'll be talking a little hoops here. Got a big show today, a bunch of fan questions.
Yeah, so let's get started. Our first question is from Andrew Maggio here in Montreal at CJLO. Also writes for The Link. Talk about the Lakers debate whether they need to blow it up, retool, and who could they add. My 2 cents. Have a good one, guys.
Big question. I mean, this is the thing. It's on a lot of people's minds. This is the Kobe Bryant team. I mean, like, what do you do with Kobe Bryant? I mean, he's got some talent around him. Andrew Bynum, Pau Gasol. These are trade pieces, but like to me, this all stems around how you value Kobe Bryant, because if you have him on your team, you kind of have to keep fighting for those playoffs, right? And with him, how do you justify taking away his favorite player and Pau Gasol and a perennial all-star who could be in Andrew Bynum? And apart from that, you don't really have pieces, right?
Well, I mean, everyone was saying, and it's kind of been a trend in the last few years, that, Kobe's getting older. He's becoming an old man. But he went over to Germany. He had this magical blood transfusion, magician knee surgery type thing. And he's playing like he's 27 years old. And he's almost 34. He's going to keep going.
Yeah. Well, he's keep going, but the thing is, it's the magic of the chemistry, right? We're seeing, as we've seen him a bunch of times, when it comes down to crunch time, Kobe just is the black hole. And the thing is, it's great having these tools as front court players, but he's not using them.
No, he's not.
So, I mean, it's a sort of thing where, do you turn the team into kind of like how Allen Iverson had the Sixers back in 2001, where it's all that guy and just a bunch of defensive players, or do you risk trading Kobe Bryant? I mean, can you do that?
I don't think you can. I think he pretty much owns the city. So I think Kobe's going to stay, and I think they're going to blow up the whole team.
Yeah, I could see them blowing it up. I could really see them easily. Pau Gasol, I could see him gone. Bring in a defensive four, and then just let Andrew Bynum be the front court scorer, because Andrew Bynum already has defensive stats. If you bring in a four that can play some defense, I mean, there's a lot of guys out there, and for a Pau Gasol to the right team, he could fetch you a good price.
That's true. And one thing, I think the coach is going to be gone as well. I think maybe Jerry Sloan may pop up on the radar.
Jerry Sloan to the Los Angeles Lakers. It'd be funny. We saw how he dealt with Deron Williams, or didn't deal, in Utah. It'd be interesting, because Kobe is not exactly known for being quiet about things.
Yeah, it'd be a bit of this, but Jerry Sloan could maybe put him in check.
Hopefully.
He used to do that as a player. He played for the Bulls way back in the day.
Yeah, he's a tough guy, tough as nails. But so basically, we think he's going to get blown up. I think you don't really have a choice, as a lot of writers have said. These guys, they're a good team, but they're not at that elite level anymore. Yeah. So, I mean, if you're stuck in motion, you got to make some changes. And I think Pau Gasol is the unlucky guy who I think gets thrown under the bus.
Yeah, the LA bus. So keeping in the West, let's start talking about the big series everyone is talking about. OKC Spurs. What do you think? I
think this is going to be probably the best series of the playoffs. I even think that this is almost in a weird way the NBA Finals.
Yeah, it is.
There's going to be a lot of storylines if we see Miami and such, against a Kevin Durant or against a Tim Duncan. But really, this is the series. I mean, for me, this is the old tried and tested team of San Antonio. Yep. Well coached, well played, high IQ. Just the way they picked apart the Clippers, it was you just saw they're at that elite level. And what I love about this team this year is they brought along a lot of these nice young players. Kawhi Leonard really stepping into his own. Corner three guy defense, huge hands, long wingspan. Him, Steven Jackson, great pickup. I mean, this is a deep team. I feel as a total, OKC has a little bit more talent.
Yeah.
But it's going to come down to execution, because they're a young team.
Yes.
They're a young team, and we know San Antonio is going to limit their mistakes.
Right.
If Oklahoma can do that, I think Oklahoma takes this. If they play like a young team, I think San Antonio is going to the finals, and I think they're having their way there too.
I'm going to mention one name, Sam Presti. He is the GM of OKC.
Yeah.
He got to start as a video intern with the Spurs back in the day. Learned pretty much everything he knows from Greg Popovich. Brought over this kind of family, team philosophy over to OKC, and it's just grown it over the last few years. And it's blossoming right now. I mean,
well, he's known as one of the best GMs in the league.
Right.
I mean, look at people questioned his Russell Westbrook pick. He traded away Ray Allen in the prime of his career. He traded away Rashard Lewis, where people were like, he got out of that huge albatross contract in Orlando. But he's made the right moves. He took a risk on Serge Ibaka late in the round. He traded Jeff Green for Kendrick Perkins, even though he knew that there would be no offense coming out of that front court. So,
and he left his mark on the Spurs as well. He was a large voice in them getting Tony Parker.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's had a mark on both teams, and obviously there's just a lot of kind of mirroring between the two squads.
well, you could say the same thing with Ginobili and James Harden kind of playing the same game. I was actually...
lefties.
Yeah, lefties, they're both... not the elite athletes, but are surprisingly athletic.
Unorthodox.
Very high IQ, get to the free throw line a lot, don't mind playing the six-man role, excel in it.
Right.
And these are things that really, like face it, a guy like James Harden and Manu Ginobili could start on most teams.
Yeah.
But the fact that they've understood their role has benefited their team largely. And we've seen rings from San Antonio, and we've seen starting of playoff, performances with OKC. So, I think this is going to be a great series. I'm going to say right now, I'm going to say San Antonio. I kind of hope I'm wrong. I'm an OKC fan, but I'm going to say San Antonio just because I think the mix between what they're going to take care of, they're not going to make the mistakes, and I really like the young guys coming up. I think they just take that one.
I think they will too. I say the Spurs in 6, as long as everyone stays healthy. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Westbrook and Parker is going to be a huge matchup. Mano a mano, the point guards, the leaders, and for me, it's just that little bit of experience and just Duncan doing his thing. Duncan being Duncan.
I was kind of interested to see how they're going to play Duncan. I was kind of thinking they put maybe a Kendrick Perkins to front him,
right,
and then take a back a weak side,
right,
and then just take a back and put him on whoever they put, Dwan Blair or whatever, because they're not going to be a huge offensive threat either way. Yeah. They rarely are. I mean, right now they're starting Boris Diaw, who's coming to his own, playing pretty well, but again, he's not the threat you really got to worry about.
Well, I mean, I think it's going to be a chess match between Popovich and Scotty Brooks. So, I mean, it's going to be NBA entertainment at its best. So, I'm looking forward to it.
But I'm saying this. If OKC pulls this out, watch out for OKC for the next few years. Because this is that last hurdle, right?
Yeah. They are just right there on the cusp.
I mean, you take out the Lakers, the old guard. Now you take out the Spurs, the old guard.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's
their league.
Yeah. And I would not want to face them. Any team in the East, I don't care if you're Miami, I don't care if you're Boston. I don't want to face an OKC team that just beat that Spurs team.
Yeah, this is the battle of the river walks. By the way, both cities have river walks, and OKC has an amazing crowd, as does San Antonio.
Yeah.
They'll both play
big. That's a great home crowd. Yeah. If you see that they all wear their uniform blue, it's electric. It's loud.
It's gonna be something special.
Exactly.
So we got one more question. This comes from Tim Chafee out of Illinois.
Wow. So, little American fans out there.
OKC is my favorite team, and Durant is the man. But why does he always look so dour, kind of sad, melancholy? Is he waiting for flames to rise up from the hoop as someone says that he's on fire? That seems to be the only thing missing from him. So I looked into this. I took psychology a bit. I have a minor in psychology, a film degree, a minor in psychology, and I had a feeling that maybe he had a bit of tragedy in his life, because people who tend to be kind of melancholy, just not always brimmingly happy, tend to have had things in their past that still dwelling upon them. So
he's not the cocky guy that most people in his position of just winning scoring championships and such would be.
Yeah, and so I found out the reason why he's the number 35. When he was 8 years old, basically he was taken under the wing of a man named Charles Craig, a man he called Big Chucky. And basically he was like a coach at AAU guy who went around DC and just kind of taught the game, became more like an uncle, a father figure for these young men. And Durant played under him for 8 or 10 years. And basically, then Durant went on to superstardom at U of T, etc. But late in his high school career, unfortunately, this man was shot down in cold blood on the streets of D.C. Oh, no. And it was never really figured out. And so Kevin Durant and his friends, to honor him, all wear the number 35 because he was 35 years old when he died.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so this is kind of an expression of honor of someone who was a really important part of his life. And so I think that may have a bit with the deal with his expression.
And also it's a humbleness. It's an understanding of the preciousness of life and such. I think at the same point, if you talk to the guy, he's a hardcore competitor, right?
He is.
I think he just realizes that watching some of these guys like Kobe and such come through with their egos, it's not helping the team.
Yeah, so, and especially when he got his contract extension, he just announced it quietly on Twitter.
Well, he asked for it, right? Yeah. He went to management saying, "Let's get this over with." You know,
He's straight up businessman. He's just like,
Yeah.
you know what, let's take
Just
care of
getting it
business.
done.
Yeah.
You know, that's why you never hear arguments, and that's why, you know, it's he's a key character guy. I mean, people are talking more and more in drafts about wanting key character guys. You know, guys with high IQs. He just kind of he embodies that all along.
Yeah, no, he's just very down to earth, very take care of business, and he's all about team.
Always, if you want to write back, hoopslounge@gmail.com. We'd love to answer your questions on the next show. And you can always reach us, our Twitter handles.
I'm Montreal Mark.
And Sporting Phil, and always at Hoops Lounge. Check out our Facebook page, Hoops Lounge at Facebook, and like us, and we'll keep you up to date with all the info. So until next time.
Sorry that our camera cut out. Technology.
Yeah, we still love you. So this is me, Phil.
I'm Mark.
You've been in the lounge, and we'll catch you next week.
Okay, see ya.